Hi, I'm Cindy Edwards from PR Media Now. With the election behind us and the holidays ahead, many are dealing with the emotional toll of political disagreements that have fractured relationships with family, friends, even coworkers. Natalie Baird-King is a transformational healing coach, forgiveness expert, and best-selling author of Forgiving Unforgivable: The Four Essential Secrets to Overcome Trauma, Stand Empowered, and Step into Purpose. She is also a survivor of childhood abuse and domestic violence, a Florida Supreme Court certified family law mediator, and a board certified attorney. Whew! Natalie, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very grateful to be here.
Now, you have said it was your father in law, the legendary broadcaster Larry King, who played a pivotal role in inspiring you to write Forgiving Unforgivable. Tell us a little bit about that and why forgiveness is such a central theme in your mission.
Yes, my late father-in-law, Larry King, was a very inspirational in me writing the book Forgiving Unforgivable and the sequel coming out, Accepting Unacceptable. One of the greatest things that he told me was, I know the doubts will come in, but you just need to write the book, get the message out there because we need it. We need it in this world right now. We need it within ourselves. And so I took that advice as I've been writing the book for over 10 years. And I finally sat down and I said, okay, I can do this. And really it was about finding within myself worthiness, like to get that book out. And so he played a huge role in that aspect of me getting the first book published, Forgiving Unforgivable.
And why is forgiveness such a central theme to you?
Forgiveness is an essential thing for myself and should be for the world because what it does is it produces acceptance and self love for ourselves. And when we can have that, we can have it for everybody around us. And the biggest thing that forgiveness actually produces is peace. Aren't we all looking for that peace, right, in this world and within ourselves? And that's what forgiveness gives us the freedom to have peace.
Well, the election obviously caused some heightened stress and division, and now the holidays are upon us. So please give us some helpful tips that you can share with our viewers to help us get through this peacefully.
So this election has been, I'm in my mid 50s. I will tell your listeners and your viewers that I'm in my mid 50s, and by far this has been the election that probably has produced probably the most stress in my lifetime of those that are around me. It has been extremely divisive on both sides of the aisle, and it's also broken apart a lot of families, even marriages. I see that daily, and family members, relationships, friendships. One of the things that I've realized this election is that we have, as a society, decided that we are not going to respect another person's opinion. We are not going to respect what somebody else's belief system may be. And I think that that's something we really need to look at because that's really part of us reuniting as a community, as a globe, as a society. So there are three tips that I have that I think would be very profound if people could implement these. And especially with the holidays coming up, these are great to actually utilize when you're around family and friends. So the first thing is when the subject of politics may come up, and you may have, a difference of opinion as to who it is, whether it be a family member or whether it be a friend that you're in this discussion with. Walk into that actual conversation with pure curiosity, not judgment, and not with the expectation to change the other person's opinion. Because when we walk into a conversation with curiosity, we find it fascinating, we find it interesting. Their perspective is very interesting. So if you can walk into a conversation with someone that is more about curiosity, when we bring up the subject of politics, you'll be amazed at what you can learn about that other person. You'll be amazed at maybe a perspective that you may not see. So that's the first tip. Second tip, focus on shared values. So when I basically have a conversation about politics with my husband, let's say, I look at the things that we both have in common. So one of the main things we have in common is we want a better life for our children. And we want this administration to make that better for our children, right? So that's a common ground that I look at when I have a conversation when politics may come up with friends or family members. And so I'm going to find those core values that we have in common. And that will alleviate any of the things that you disagree with because you're looking for things that you have in common. The last is release the need to be right. So in my work, this is probably the most difficult process that I have to actually help people with when they come to me to try to mediate their case for divorce. Everyone wants to be right. It's just our human nature, right? But if you can eliminate the fact that a conversation or a subject that is basically being transversed between two people is not about being right, it's about acceptance, acceptance of the other person, their uniqueness, their opinion, and have an admire that person and respect that person, that also will alleviate any tension that you have as it relates to a political conversation with friends and family members.
I guess it wouldn't be realistic to say if you're gathering around the table and there's a lot of division at that table to just say, here are the topics we're not going to discuss today, because then you might just sit in silence, right? I mean, it's almost impossible for it to not come around to that at some point, correct?
Exactly. I would say politics, religion, these are big topics that create a lot of diversity in families. But diversity is not bad. We can look at diversity and the perspective of diversity as a great thing because we're all unique in certain ways. We all have different opinions about different things, and this is no different. So
True.
why not respect that, right?
Yeah, life would be pretty boring if we all felt the same way, wouldn't it? We'd never make
Right.
any progress.
We'd be clones of each other. Well, that's not humanity. The individualized pieces of each one of us is valued and should be valued by each of us.
That is true. Again, the book is called Forgiving Unforgivable. It's available now. Natalie, what can we expect from your next book, which is Accepting Unacceptable?
You see a theme here.
Hmm.
Yes, definitely. So the first book I write about the forgiveness that I had from my abusive father and how I got through that, the 4 steps that I took, and how it basically changed my life. So this book, I was impressed upon writing about self-forgiveness because we all have issues in our life that we have a difficult time forgiving ourselves for. So this book focuses in on self-forgiveness, and I have 4 steps. The acronym of love is what I use to actually portray those 4 steps. But it's a great opportunity for people to actually find out who they are, find out how to accept themselves and forgive themselves, and it, again, will create this freedom and inner peace, just like forgiving others.
All right. For more information, people can go to forgivingunforgivable.com. And if you click on Natalie's transformational coaching tab, you can get one-on-one support. And she is offering a complimentary 30-minute discovery call to help individuals determine their unique needs and start their forgiveness journey today. It's so important. Natalie Baird-King, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here.
And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next time.